Assalamu alaikum dear students. I welcome you all in my next class for 12th standard. The main topic will be human testicles. Right now we have completed a basic introduction about the testicles. That is, human males contain a pair of primary sex organs which are located in the scrotum or the scrotal sacs, hanging by something called spermatic cord that we have discussed. Along with testicles, we have studied something called their origin, which is mesodermal. We have studied the two primary functions of testicles. One is sperm formation, one is formation of signaling molecules known as hormones. We also studied the three protective coatings of each testicle. That is tunica vaginalis, middle is tunica albuginea, innermost is tunica vasculosa. These three structures we have studied, the protective coverings of testicles. Now, today the main focus will be, let we dissect a testicle. When we dissect a testicle, what we observe is that inside the testicle there are present large number of compartments. Like this. Inside each testicle there are present large number of compartments. Here I am drawing separately. Sir, these compartments are actually known as testicular lobes. And in each testicle there are approximately 250 lobes, that's testicular lobes. And in each lobe, in each lobe, there are present coiled structures like this. These coiled tubular structures, these tubes, coiled tubes. These coiled tubes are actually known as seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. Along with seminiferous tubules, there is present connective tissue. Along with seminiferous tubules, there is present connective tissue. Along with connective tissue, there are present large number of neurons. Along with neurons, there are present large number of blood capillaries. There are also present blood capillaries. In each testicular lobe, here in each testicular lobe, in this testicular lobe, in this testicular lobe, in this testicular lobe, there might be 1, 2 or maximum of 3. I would say 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules are present in each testicular lobe. Now, the length of seminiferous tubule, the length of each seminiferous tubule is roughly 70 centimeters. What I mean is that if we can extend one yellow color seminiferous tubule, this seminiferous tubule is yellowish in color. If we can extend this one yellowish seminiferous tubule, what we will get is approximately 70 centimeter long tube. Now, if you will have a kind focus here, for God's sake, please be focused. Several seminiferous tubules, this seminiferous tubule, this seminiferous tubule, this seminiferous tubule, this seminiferous tubule. Now, please be attentive right now, because it's the best concept which you have studied in testicles. The several seminiferous tubules, these seminiferous tubules actually fuse together or unite together and form larger pipes. These larger tubes form a network of larger tubes, and these larger tubes, network of these larger tubes is known as tubuli recti. Tubuli recti. It is like this. Let us suppose one seminiferous tubule, second seminiferous tubule, third seminiferous tubule, fourth seminiferous tubule. These seminiferous tubules join together and form a network of larger ducts. This network of larger ducts is known as tubuli recti. What actually happens is that these tubuli recti also then join together. These tubuli recti also then join together and form another network of wider tubes, that is recti testes. This network is known as recti testes. what I said in my first 1 minute is that if we will analyze one testicle by dissecting it, we will find several compartments. Every compartment is known as testicular lobe. There are approximately 250 testicular lobes. In each testicular lobe, there may be present maximum of 1 to 3 highly coiled yellowish structures. These highly coiled yellowish structures, but unfortunately drawn here in blue color, these are actually yellowish tubes, coiled tubes. These coiled tubes are known as seminiferous tubules. For convenience, for you people to make things clear, is that I have drawn here one seminiferous tubule, one seminiferous tubule, one seminiferous tubule, one seminiferous tubule. These seminiferous tubules unite together. When the seminiferous tubules unite together, they form a network of larger and wider tubes. This network of larger and wider tubes is known as tubule recti. Now, these tubule recti, one tubule recti, second tubule recti, this network of these wider tubes again join together and form larger network of tubes. This larger network is known as retitestes. Let me show you. Here it is a seminiferous tubule. When several seminiferous tubules unite together, they form a wider network. This wider network is known as tubule recti. This is also here tubule recti. Several tubule recti join together to form larger pipes, to form larger tubes, to form a network of wider ducts. The network of wider ducts here is known as retitestes. Now, the point of concern is that retitestes, the wall of this retitestes have thread-like structures, those you call cilia. The cilia help in movement of sperms. Retitestes, wall of retitestes contains cilia. Now the next point is that from retitestes 10 to 15 smaller tubes arise. Let us suppose say retitestes. From retitestes, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From retitestes, what happened? From retitestes, like here, it is a retitestes. From retitestes, several tubes arise. These tubes, network of 15 to 20 tubes, this network of 15 to 20 tubes is known as vasa efferentia. It is this network of 10 to 20 tubes that you call vasa efferentia. It is this network of tubes that leaves the testicle. This testicle, इस testicle से बाहर निकल जाते हैं. These tubes leave the testicle and enter into this structure. This structure is known as epididymis. Now, let's have a little bit translation of what I have told. मैंने कहा testicle, if dissected, टेस्टिकल के अंदर पाए जाते हैं स्पेशल ट्यूब्स. दीज ट्यूब्स आर नोन एज टेस्टिकुलर लोब्स. इन लोब्स में पाए जाते हैं स्पेशल कॉइल्ड ट्यूब्स. दीज कॉइल्ड ट्यूब्स आर नोन एज सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज दैट बहुत सारे सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स, ये वाला ये सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स एक दूसरे के साथ मिल जाते हैं, बनाते हैं बड़े बड़े नेटवर्क पाइप्स के. इन बड़े नेटवर्क्स को हम कहते हैं ट्यूब्यूल रेक्टी. उसके बाद ये बड़े नेटवर्क ट्यूब्यूल रेक्टी अगेन ज्वाइन होते हैं, जब ये फिर से ज्वाइन होते हैं एंड दे फॉर्म another wider group of tubes or ducts. Another wider group of tubes or ducts is known as retitestes. और उसके बाद मैंने कहा इन retitestes से फिर from these retitestes another 10 to 15 small ducts arise. छोटे छोटे ducts arise होते हैं. इन 15 से 20 डक्ट्स को आपने कहा वासा एफरेंशिया. यही वासा एफरेंशिया डक्ट्स फिर निकल जाते हैं इस टेस्टिकल से बाहर एंड दे एंटर इनटू एपिडाइडिमिस. एपिडाइडिमिस इज एक्चुअली structure that we will deal in later classes. और यहां पर यह भी याद रखना है कि it is this structure that you call vasa efferentia. This vasa efferentia, the wall of vasa efferentia also contains cilia. Cilia, thread-like structure for smooth movement of sperms. Now, next point. अब अगर हम एक seminiferous tubule को बाहर निकालेंगे, let we remove one seminiferous tubule out. When we analyze the wall of seminiferous tubule, let us analyze this region under the microscope. First of all, you should know this, that the wall of seminiferous tubule is known as germinal epithelium. Wall of seminiferous tubule is known as germinal epithelium. When we observe this germinal epithelium, wall of seminiferous tubule, when we analyze the wall of seminiferous tubule under the microscope, what we find out is that हमें क्या दिखता है जब हम देखते हैं जर्मिनल एपिथेलियम को अंडर माइक्रोस्कोप. वी फाइंड आउट cells like this. What we observe is there are two different types of cells. There are two different types of cells present in this germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium is the wall of seminiferous tubule. In this germinal epithelium, we find two different types of cells. The first type of cell is known as cuboidal cell. The first type of cell is known as cuboidal cell. And the second type of cell is actually pyramidal cell. Second type of cell is actually pyramidal cell. So these cube-like cells are actually known as germ cells or primary germ cells. So these cuboidal cells undergo mitosis. इन्हीं cuboidal cells को हो जाती है something called mitotic mitosis, and result in the formation of supermatogonia. And from these supermatogonia cells, they are actually the precursor cells. Precursor का मतलब होता है जिनसे फिर दूसरी cells बनाई जाएंगी. These are the supermat. It is this germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium मतलब wall of seminiferous tubules. This germinal epithelium contains cuboidal cells. These cuboidal cells undergo mitosis, resulting in the formation of supermatogonia cells. These supermatogonia cells are then under several stages, under several divisions, then finally converted into sperm cells. So should I say that formation of sperm cells is known as spermatogenesis? Formation of sperm cells is known as spermatogenesis, and this spermatogenesis occurs in seminiferous tubules. To be more specific, we should say that spermatogenesis occurs in the germinal epithelium. Now the next point is that what germinal epithelium actually means. Germinal epithelium is the wall of seminiferous tubule. This wall of seminiferous tubule, known as germinal epithelium, contains special types of cells. These special types of cells are known as cuboidal cells. From these cuboidal cells, the original sperms are formed. Now, the next type of cell here is pyramidal cell. This pyramidal cell in the wall of germinal epithelium or in the wall of seminiferous tubule. This pyramidal cell is also known as Sertoli cell. Sertoli cell. Discovered by Enrico Sertoli. A scientist, his name was Enrico Sertoli. He discovered these types of cells. Sertoli cells. They are actually the pyramidal tall cells. These Sertoli cells are also known as nerve cells, or these cells are also known as sustentacular cells. Sustentacular cells or nerve cells. What I mean is that in the germinal epithelium there are present cuboidal cells. Along with the cuboidal cells there are also present Sertoli cells. These Sertoli cells are the pyramidal cells. Now, the basic function of Sertoli cell is to produce sperm maturation factor. और sperms को nourish करने वाला fluid. To be more easier for you people, spermatogenic fluid और sperm को nourish करने के लिए fluid that is produced by Sertoli cells. Sir, Sertoli cells also produce special proteins. Sertoli cells, these Sertoli cells also produce special types of proteins. These proteins are called androgen binding peptides. Androgen binding peptides. ABP, androgen binding peptide. 402 amino acids का बना हुआ होता है. This androgen is a term given to male sex hormones. Sertoli cells produce androgen binding peptides. Sir, this androgen binding peptide is a protein made of 402 amino acids. This androgen binding peptide actually is the vehicle for transportation of testosterone. It is the vehicle. I mean to say that testosterone hormone is produced by testes. कहाँ से? वो later on बता दूँगा. It is the testosterone hormone that is produced by testes, and testosterone hormone is then drained into the blood. But this testosterone hormone binds with this protein, androgen binding peptide, and is carried along with. Let us suppose this is androgen binding peptide, this is testosterone. They form a loose bond and both are carried together. It is this testosterone hormone that is carried in the blood by this peptide, androgen binding peptide. So androgen binding peptide is also known as androgen binding peptide. It is also secondary. It has a second name, that is sex hormone binding globin. There is a second name called sex hormone binding globin. So Sertoli cells, what they do is that they nurse the sperm cells. First, by producing the nutrients essential for maturation of sperms. Not full maturation, that will be discussed in female reproductive system. But right now, Sertoli cells produce fluids that are essential for the survival of sperms. First point. Second point is that Sertoli cells produce special types of proteins. These proteins are known as androgen binding peptides, or androgen binding peptide is also known as sex hormone binding globin. It is this sex hormone binding globin that carries testosterone in the blood. The third point is that it is this Sertoli cell that actually acts as endocrine cells. Sertoli cells also act as endocrine cells. When I say they act as endocrine cells, in later classes, no, in this class also, we will study a special type of factor that is called inhibin. What is the actual role of inhibin? That will be detailed in later, that will be discussed in later classes. But right now you should note down that Sertoli cells produce special types of factors, special types of molecules. They are called inhibin molecules. It is also proteinaceous in nature. It is this inhibin that prevents release of follicle stimulating hormone. But right now आप इतना याद रखो, Sertoli cells produce sperm maturation factor. Sertoli cells produce androgen binding peptide, और जिसको आपने कहा sex hormone binding globin. The third point, Sertoli cells produce a special secretion called inhibin. Now एक और point याद रखना, Sertoli cells actually form sperm blood barrier. Sertoli cells form sperm-blood barrier. This will be the first homework of class 12th. Just like you have studied something called blood-brain barrier. Same is the case here. When I say that Sertoli cells act as sperm-blood barrier, what actually this means, you have to tell me by watching my video and write in the comment below. The next point is that along with seminiferous tubulus के साथ साथ there is present connective tissue, there are present neurons, there are present blood vessels in this testicular lobe. A very fascinating thing that we have to discuss tomorrow's lecture, inshallah, is that in between the seminiferous tubulus or in the seminiferous tubulus, there are present along with the seminiferous tubulus in the testicular lobe, इस lobe में seminiferous tubulus के साथ साथ there are present a group of a cluster of very special cells, a cluster of very special cells. In the testicular lobes, there are present a cluster of specialized cells. Sir, this cluster of cells is known as latic cells. Latic cells. Sir, these latic cells are the actual endocrine cells of testes. They are actually the endocrine cells of testes. And these latic cells produce androgen, or these latic cells produce something called testosterone. Now, tomorrow's lecture will be dedicated for testosterone. What happens to testosterone? And what is the role of testosterone? How is it carried in the blood? What is the fate of testosterone? That will be discussed in the next lecture. Right now, due to the prolonged videos, we have to stop today's class. Hope you got the basic concepts about the testes. Do like, share and subscribe my channel.